Hello, I'm Dr. Michael Kessler, and we're going to share with you something called the NeuroVIZR today. NeuroVIZR does not treat conditions. It restores the brain's ability to process, integrate, and adapt, which influences outcomes across all systems. So how does this thing work? Well, you have a headset, you have the audio side of the NeuroVIZR, and we'll talk about that. And it's changing. The audio system is changing tempo and harmony and intensity, binaural beats, isochronic tones, pink and white noise. And then from the other aspect, which is the light that's coming out, we use stroboscopic light patterns and changing contrast, intensity, and the light is changing direction. Sometimes it's going up and down and to the side and it's doing different things. And why is it all doing this? It's engaging the brain to pay attention, to create what we call engagement. It engages the brain to do what? Create active neuroplastic changes. Can't do this with a passive system like some of the other systems that are out there. So this is what it says underneath there. It says a passive brain relaxes, but an engaged brain rewires. And isn't that what we want to do? We want to create permanent changes in the brain. So we have it all broken down for you. I'm not going to read this, but for those who have the system and get the system from us, we have tremendous amount of information for you to make it easy. These are different programs on the NeuroVIZR app that you can use for all the things that we just talked about. But one of the main ones that you're going to start with, if you have a NeuroVIZR, is you're going to do a program called Brain Gym. And the Brain Gym has 1 to 3. It's a progression that you do. Sometimes it could take 2 weeks. Sometimes it could take 3 weeks. But it's an amazing program. And the example I have for you, because I was an athlete, and I didn't just go into competition. I competed in judo, and I did international competition. And I didn't just go on the mat and fight. I prepared my brain. I did flexibility. I did strength, endurance, technique work. This is the same thing, but we're doing it for the brain, to prepare the brain to change. So all the other programs that we use in the NeuroVIZR will be effective. And it also helps to balance both hemispheres of the brain. That's called Brain Gym. Now I'd like to share with you some actual cases. So when you look at this pie, most of you don't know what that means, but let's just say that's somebody who's in fight or flight, all right, the yellow pie. And let me tell you about the green. The green is your brakes. That's your parasympathetic nervous system, houses the vagus nerve, which you all know about. And if you look at the numbers on the top, look at this guy's heart rate, 94 beats a minute. And if you look at this thing called SDNN, it's his ability to cope with stress. It's in red. If it shows up in red, we don't want to see it in red. And so it's higher, the higher that number, the more they're able to adapt to stress of all kinds. And the RMSSD is a number, and it's in 12. You can see it there. It's our ability to repair and recover after stress and exercise. So we want to shift that, right? So after doing a NeuroVIZR session, actually did a program for a little while, we can see what happened to the heart rate. It went from 94 beats a minute to 71. The SDNN went up, and that's what we want to see. It's still in the red, but it's going in the correct direction. But the RMSSD, which is, again, the ability to repair and recover after stress or exercise, we want that number to go up, and now it's in the green zone. And if you look at the pie below, it's more of a balanced pie between the autonomic nervous system balance there and the parasympathetic. And so this gentleman definitely had autonomic nervous system dysregulation. He had sympathetic dominance, overdrive, and parasympathetic underactivity. One more case before we end, because I want to show you how this affects the brain. This is a female, age 57, with a chief complaint of severe osteoarthritis and multiple TBI from sports, starting to have cognitive issues with memory. So we put her on a 7-day brain support schedule with the NeuroVIZR. So if you look at this, you can see our heart rate 77. After the 7-day program, it's dropping a little bit. We can see that SDNN, which is the gold standard in heart rate variability, the higher that number, remember, the better. She was in the red at 45. Now she's moving into the SDNN of 52. So it's going up. It's moving her in the right direction. And the RMSSD, like we talked about before for recovery, is going up. We want higher numbers are better. But this is what really floored me, was the total power. The total power really tells us about their energy reserves, their ability to adapt to stress. And for the autonomic nervous system to work, you have to have the energy to do that. Look what it did. It brought the total power from 1,497 to 2,531. Pretty good. And stress index is stress, right? It put it in the zone where it needs to be. It's a little over. And the nervous system balance index is right in the middle where it should be. Now, this is what I wanted to share with you. This is the brain gauge that measures brain function. We're not going to go over everything here, but this is February 17th, right? After the 7-day program, just look at the numbers on the reaction time and the accuracy and all these things. It improved. There's a number on the bottom called cortical calmetrics, which is an overall of all brain function. It's 62. Now it's 85. It improved brain function immensely. And if we go a little further, you can have a really nice view looking at the radar screen, and you can see that you want that filled in. And there's just a few areas that we still need to work on, but the NeuroVIZR was pretty amazing on improving brain overall function.